I know you felt it before, that spark to change. Maybe you decided to start exercising, eat better, or finally call someone you've been avoiding. For a while you're excited, you feel unstoppable. But then life happens. You slip back into your old routines, and before you know it, nothing's changed. Why does this happen? Well, if we understand patterns, change is natural, but real progress takes strategy, identity, and emotional power. Change is automatic. Progress is not. To live means growth happens or decay happens. There's no middle ground. But knowing this isn't enough to keep going when excuses pop up. Understanding why people don't change is crucial. To effect lasting change, the brain needs emotional leverage. We often react only when discomfort outweighs comfort. When change hurts more than staying the same, then we act. That's called hitting your emotional threshold. It's your inner "this has to change" moment. Now, once you get that spark, now you need a vision so compelling it pulls you forward. You need your identity to change, because most habits fight your sense of self. If deep down you believe, "I'm not that kind of person," progress fades. So what turns a spark into a permanent flame? First, we got to get clear on our vision and feel it. You don't change because you want something, you change because you feel that change is in your bones. Close your eyes and ask, what will my life look like after making this change? Feel the pride, the energy, the peace. That emotional pull becomes magnetic. And then secondly, raise your standards. You can choose discipline over momentary comfort every day. There's pain in discipline and there's pain in regret. But regret lasts longer. So ask yourself, will today's choice bring me closer to who I want to become or pull me back? Third is you need to shape your identity. Most people try to change what they do. The smarter move is to change who you believe you are. Each small choice is a vote for that new identity. If you say, "I'm a reader," then you'll make time for reading. If you say, "I'm someone who keeps promises," then you'll keep the promises you make to yourself. Speak differently, act differently. Stack small wins so your identity shifts from the inside out. Fourth step is to immerse yourself in supporting habits. See, lasting change comes from rituals, not on and offs. If you want to become a writer, then create a habit of writing at 6 a.m. before checking your phone. Momentum isn't magic, it's built through small actions done consistently. And the last step is to create leverage and environment. This means surrounding yourself with people, places, and reminders that support your new path. So remove the snacks if you're avoiding junk food. If you want to stop scrolling before bed, keep your phone in a different room. Build external support that champions your internal change. Effective change isn't about trying, it's about mastery. And that means stop dabbling and start going all in. Whether it's health, work, or relationships, lasting change comes when you commit, consistently refine, and embrace growth as your identity. Motivation will falter, and willpower will weaken. But when your change becomes tied to who you are, your identity, then the path forward gets easier. You don't rely on feeling like it, you rely on being that person every day. So pick one change you're ready to live, not just attempt. Make the vision real, raise your standard, cast a tiny vote for the new you today. Set a ritual, shape your space, find one person to keep you honest. Change won't promise to be easy, but it will promise to be worth it. When you make this commitment to your future, to your identity, to the people you love, you stop relapsing and you start transforming. Hey, I know life can get loud. Deadlines, bills, stress, the messages that keep popping up on your phone, the thoughts that won't slow down when you're just trying to sleep. It's easy to feel like you're caught up in a storm, waves crashing around you. The wind is howling and everything around you is spinning out of control. And when you're in it, clarity feels impossible. You can't think straight. You can't see the bigger picture. You can barely catch your breath. But let me remind you that storms don't last forever. The calm that you're looking for, it's not found out there, it's inside of you already. You have the power to slow the wind, to calm the waves, not by controlling everything around you, but by controlling what's going on inside of you. Step 1, control the controllables. When the chaos hits, your mind wants to control everything, but that only makes the storm bigger. So instead, ask yourself, what's one thing that I can control right now? It might be slowing your breathing. It might be getting up 30 minutes earlier to start your day. It might be making a list of the most important things that you need to tackle. Small actions create small wins, and small wins start to build momentum. So step 2 is anchor yourself in the present. Anxiety loves to live in the future. Regret likes to live in the past. Calm likes to live in the present. When your mind races ahead to what could go wrong, pull it back with this simple question. Ask, what is true about this exact moment right now? You're here, you're breathing, you have survived every tough day up until this moment. That's the truth. Step 3 is reframe the storm. Sometimes the chaos is just life rearranging itself for you. The setback is teaching you resilience. The delay is teaching you patience. The loss is opening space for something new. You may not see the full reason right now, but one day you're going to look back and realize the storm wasn't breaking you, it was making you. Step 4, protect your mental space. In chaotic seasons, your mind is like a garden. The more weeds you let in, well, then the flowers can't grow. Be intentional with what you let in, the news you watch, the people you hang out with, the thoughts you entertain. Fill your space with voices that lift you higher. Fill your days with things that bring you peace. That's how you keep clarity alive, even when the world feels unclear. Here's the thing. Calm is not something you stumble across when life finally becomes perfect. It's a skill. It's a mindset. It's something that you build along the way, even in the middle of a storm. Because you are not the wind. You are not the waves, but you are the captain. And no matter how wild the storm gets, you have the ability to steer towards clarity. So take a deep breath. Decide what matters most. Let go of what you can't control and keep moving forward. The storm will pass, and when it does, you'll be stronger, you'll be clearer, and more grounded than you were before. You say you'd do anything for your kids. You'd fight for them, protect them, stay up all night when they're sick, work yourself to the bone so they never go without. But let me ask you something. Will you drink more water? Will you get enough sleep? Will you put your phone down and go for a walk? Will you stop eating food that steals your energy? Will you move your body and exercise so you don't burn out by 2 p.m.? Will you do those things? Because doing anything doesn't just mean the big sacrifices. It means the small, daily disciplines that no one claps for, but your kids notice. They see everything. The way you talk about yourself, the way you handle stress, the way you treat your body, the way you show up when things get hard. You're not just raising kids, you're shaping the definition of normal for someone else's life. Your energy affects them. Your mood affects them. Your habits affect them too. So when you say, I don't have time to take care of myself, what they hear is, being a parent means falling apart slowly and calling it love. But what if you showed them something better? What if you taught them that love includes self-respect? That taking care of others starts with taking care of yourself? What if you became the living, breathing example of balance, health, patience, and strength? Because your kids don't need a perfect parent, they need a present one, a healthy one with enough emotional bandwidth to listen and enough physical energy to show up. And I know it's not easy. You're tired. You've got work, chores, bills, and expectations. But you're not doing this instead of being a parent. You're doing this because you are one. Wake up a little earlier. Stretch while the coffee brews. Go for a walk instead of scrolling. Eat food that fuels you, not numbs you. Set boundaries. Say no to what drains you and yes to what builds you. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you are when you're not stretched too thin. That version of you, the one who feels strong, steady, clear-minded, that's who your kids deserve. And that's what you deserve too. You don't need to be a fitness model. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be honest. If you say you do anything for them, then do the hard thing for you. The thing that doesn't get posted, the thing that no one else may see. Heal, grow, move, breathe. Speak kindly to yourself. Sleep, hydrate, fuel your body. Protect your peace. Do the things that give your children more of you, not just what's left of you. Because when your child looks back one day, they won't just remember the toys or the bedtime stories. They'll remember how you carried yourself. They'll remember what love looked like in action. And they'll learn to love themselves the same way. You say you'd do anything for your kids? Do this. When you're healing, recovery is not a straight line. It doesn't follow a schedule, and it definitely doesn't move at the speed we want it to. You see, healing moves in waves. One day you feel like you're finally turned the corner. You're smiling again, laughing again, maybe even feeling hopeful about the future. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, a wave crashes over you. An old memory resurfaces, a trigger shows up, a wave of sadness hits, and you find yourself wondering if you've made any progress at all. But you're not back at the beginning, that's the illusion. Just because you feel the pain again doesn't mean you haven't made progress. It means you're still healing. It means there are layers to your growth, layers that can't be rushed, skipped, or ignored. We've been taught to treat healing like a race, like something you need to hurry through, something to get over. But healing isn't something you get over, it's something you move through. Think about a physical wound, like a broken bone or a deep cut. You don't just slap a bandage on it and expect it to be better in the morning. It takes time, it takes patience, and sometimes it hurts more than it hurts less. It's the same with emotional wounds. You can't heal from heartbreak, betrayal, loss, or trauma by pretending it didn't happen. You can't force yourself to feel okay just because it's been long enough. Healing doesn't follow a calendar. What it does follow is your willingness to show up, even on the hard days, even when the tears return, even when you feel like you've taken 2 steps back. Showing up matters. Sitting with your feelings instead of pushing them away matters. Taking a breath and staying with yourself in those moments of pain, that's part of the healing. Healing isn't about pretending to be fine. It's about being real with where you are, while still believing in where you're going. Some days you'll feel strong. Other days you'll feel fragile, and both are valid. Both are part of the path. The key is to stop judging yourself for how you feel. Stop comparing your healing to someone else's. There is no one-size-fits-all. There is no universal timeline. And there's no shame in not being over it yet. If you've ever felt like you're weak because you still cry about it, or you still get anxious about it, or you still struggle to talk about it, let this be your reminder. You are not weak, you are brave. You're doing the work, whether others can see it or not. And the work doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes it looks like choosing not to numb out, choosing to rest instead of run, choosing to feel instead of shut down. You are healing every time you choose compassion over criticism, every time you give yourself permission to rest, every time you speak kindly to yourself in the tough times. So if you're in the thick of it right now, if you're somewhere between falling apart and holding it together, remember this: you're not broken, you're becoming. You're learning how to live with a deeper sense of self-awareness, strength, and resilience, and that takes time. You are allowed to heal slowly. You are allowed to revisit old wounds. You are allowed to feel better today and worse tomorrow and still be making progress. Because healing isn't linear, but every breath, every tear, every honest moment, it all adds up. And one day you'll look back and realize you didn't just survive, you transformed. Just because you're having to start over again doesn't mean you've failed. Doesn't mean you've lost everything, and it definitely doesn't mean you're back at square one. You're not starting over, you're starting wiser. See, life has this way of humbling us. Sometimes our plans fall apart. Sometimes we take a risk and it doesn't work out. And sometimes we find ourselves standing in the ruins of something we believed in, wondering how we're supposed to begin again. That moment is hard and it hurts. It feels like a step backward, but it's not. Because what you carry now, the experience, the pain, the lessons, that's what makes you stronger. You didn't lose everything. You gained understanding. You gained clarity. You gained resilience. You lived through a storm, and now you know how to build stronger. You've made mistakes, and now you know what to do differently. You've experienced the cost of giving up, and that's why you won't quit this time. You're not the same person who started the first time. You are more patient, more focused, more aware, and that's the gift. That's the real starting line. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know every step. You just need to begin with what you've learned. Too many people walk away the moment things get hard. They see starting again as proof that they failed. But starting again with more wisdom is actually a sign of growth. It means you've matured. It means you've taken the hit and you're still willing to try. That takes courage. That takes grit. This time, you're not moving in panic. You're moving with purpose. This time, you're not hoping it works. You're building it to work. This time, you're not in the dark. You've got a light from the path you've already walked. And yes, you might still feel fear. You might still have doubts. You might still hear that voice whispering, "What if it all goes wrong again?" But here's where the truth lies, is that fear is part of the process. It means you care. Don't wait for the fear to leave. Move with it. Walk through it. Because what's the alternative? Living stuck? Living in regret? Wishing you had tried again but never actually doing it? You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take one honest step, then another and another. This time, you'll work smarter. This time, you'll protect your energy. This time, you'll know what really matters, and you'll let go of what doesn't. Maybe you've had to let go of something big, a dream, a relationship, a version of yourself, and that hurts, but it also clears space for something better. This is your chance to rebuild, to move forward, to rise, and you get to do it with more strength, more clarity, and more fire than ever before. So don't be ashamed to start again. Be proud. Proud that you're still standing, proud that you haven't given up, and proud that you've decided your story isn't over yet. let's get clear on this. Success is yours to define, not society's, not your parents, not your friends. It's yours. And yet so many people spend their lives chasing a vision of success that was never truly theirs to begin with. This world loves to hand out definitions of success like a checklist. It's a certain job title, a big house, a luxury car, or a picture-perfect life. But what if none of that excites you? What if success for you means traveling the world, or raising a loving family, or making an impact in your community? Would you still chase the traditional version of success just because that's what everyone else is doing? Success is and should be personal. It should be unique because it's yours to create. And the moment you take ownership of what success means to you, everything changes. But here's where most people go wrong. They don't define success for themselves. They assume it's a vague feeling of accomplishment. They'll just know when they get there. But if you don't know what you're aiming for, how will you ever hit the target? You won't. And that's why so many people feel unfulfilled. They're chasing a goal they never set for themselves. So, start by getting clear. What does an ideal life look like for you? Not in someone else's eyes, but in your own. What excites you? What drives you? What makes you feel alive? Once you get that vision, write it down. Make it real. And then break it into steps. Success isn't achieved overnight. It's built piece by piece through daily action. And just so we understand each other, success isn't just about external achievements. It's about internal fulfillment. There are a lot of wealthy people in the world who are miserable because they chased a definition of success that had nothing to do with who they really are. Meanwhile, some of the happiest people have very little by society standards, but they wake up each day with purpose and joy. And that's real success. Once you define success on your terms, you have to protect it. Because the moment you start walking your own path, the world will start to question you. People will try to impose their own version of success onto you. They'll tell you what you should want, what you should do, and who you should be. But their definition is not your definition. Their dream is not your dream. The only way to truly succeed is to stay focused on your vision. Stop measuring your life by someone else's ruler. Stop worrying about what others think. The only approval you need is your own. So take some time today and reflect. What does success mean to you? What does a fulfilled life look like in your eyes? And once you have that answer, write it down, commit to it, and start taking action. Because success isn't given, it's created, and it's yours to define. Life has an interesting way of testing us, doesn't it? I mean, we've all faced moments where things didn't go the way we'd hoped. There are moments of rejection, betrayal, or loss. And it's natural to feel bitter when the people or circumstances you relied on let you down. But the truth is, bitterness only chains us to the pain. So growth, resilience, and success, those are forged when we let go of bitterness and focus on becoming better. You see, every setback you've endured, every time life didn't go your way, it came with a hidden gift. And that was a chance to grow, to evolve, and to rise above. And sometimes we need those tough moments to remind us of who we are and what we're capable of. So let's give gratitude to those very challenges that once felt like roadblocks. Thank you to the doors that slammed in my face. At the time, it felt like rejection. like everything I'd worked for was slipping away. But in hindsight, those closed doors redirected me to something far greater than I'd imagined. They forced me to innovate, to think differently, and to walk a path that was uniquely mine. When that opportunity you thought was the one disappears, it's not the end. Sometimes it's the universe clearing the way for something extraordinary. Thank you to the people who doubted me. Your skepticism lit a fire within me that I didn't even know existed. You gave me the hunger to push beyond my limits, to prove not just to you, but to myself that I am capable. Every time you said you can't do it, I used those words as fuel to show you that I absolutely could. If people doubt you, let it strengthen your resolve. Remember, diamonds are formed under pressure, not in comfort. Thank you to the moments that felt like failure. Those were the moments that taught me resilience, patience, and the power of perseverance. Failure isn't the opposite of success. In fact, it's the foundation of it. Thomas Edison famously failed 10,000 times before creating the light bulb. But then he said, I didn't fail, I just found 10,000 ways it didn't work. So let your failures teach you, refine you, and guide you towards your next breakthrough. Thank you to the relationships that didn't last, to the ones who walked away, to the people who didn't believe in me. I owe you a special kind of gratitude, because your departure made room for people who genuinely care, who genuinely support me. It made me stronger, more self-reliant, and more aware of my worth. Sometimes we cling to the people who are not meant to walk the whole journey with us. So let them go, and trust that their absence is a gift in disguise. Thank you to the struggles that felt insurmountable. Those were the moments I discovered my true strength. When life tests you, it's not to break you, but to build you. The pain you've endured becomes the strength you lean on, and every mountain you've climbed becomes a testament to your perseverance. Bitterness is a weight that holds you in place, tethering you to the past. But choosing to be better, that's where transformation happens. Better doesn't mean forgetting what hurt you or pretending it didn't matter. It means using those experiences as stepping stones to a brighter future. So here's my challenge to you. The next time life feels unfair, when someone lets you down or circumstances don't go your way, just pause and ask yourself, will this make me bitter or will this make me better? Choose better. Always choose better. Because the truth is, you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. The people who doubted you, they don't define you. The opportunities you lost, they don't limit you. What defines you is how you rise, how you grow, and how you use every experience, good and bad, to build the life you deserve. Remember, life is a journey, not a straight line. So every twist, turn, and detour, it's shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever imagined. When life gets hard, don't let it make you bitter. Let it make you better.